Good morning again, New Hampshire, and Merry Christmas. This is Jeb Bradley sitting in for Jack Heath on News Radio 610 and 96.7. And with me now, we have one of the guests that the show is privileged to have, Mr. Dan Innis. He is a candidate for the Republican nomination in the 1st Congressional District, a former dean at the UNH Whittemore School. And Dan, you own an inn in Portsmouth, I understand. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Senator. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great. So tell me about the campaign. Tell me about your priorities. How's things going?
Sure. Things are going very well. It's already been an educational process for me. And a little on my background, you mentioned that most recently I was the dean at the University of New Hampshire in the business school, and that was a great experience for me. It's a $30 million operation. We grew enrollment from 1,600 students up to 2,200 at the undergraduate level, a number that's still growing. And I returned a surplus each year that I was responsible for that $30 million budget. So I felt pretty good about what we did there and what is still happening there. A lot of great success in preparing business graduates to get to work in New Hampshire, which to me is a critically important contribution of the university. You also mentioned the hotel that we have here in Portsmouth, and that's it started with a 10-room place called the Ale House Inn down by the Seacoast Rep Theater in Portsmouth. We sold that in November and went from a 10-room place to now 32 rooms. The old Sice Inn in downtown Portsmouth, and we're investing a lot of money in that. Right now it's closed, and renovating and rebranding, and it will open as the Hotel Portsmouth in late March or the 1st of April.
Good for you.
Very excited about that as well, and doing our part to try to help the regional economy to grow and contribute, and we like where we're headed there.
Well, that's good. Now, I went through your website the other day getting prepared for this morning, and, your priorities, you focus on the budget, fiscal issues, and health care. And since today's the sign-up day for Obamacare, I want you to talk about your health care plan because you've actually laid out what I consider a very comprehensive free market approach that is outcome-based, that relies on, personal choice, personal responsibility. I think, Republicans have to have alternatives. Dan, talk about your plan.
Right. I think you're absolutely right. We have to have alternatives, and we have to provide solutions. And I think that the people of New Hampshire and the people of the country expect that and want that. And if we put good solutions forward, I believe we'll be successful. So, we already see Obamacare starting to unravel. People are talking about delays. We're seeing delays. As you mentioned in the earlier segment, we all know people who have lost their insurance at this point and are trying to find a way to get new insurance. And even those folks who are able to sign up in the new exchange are finding that maybe their rates are down, but most of them are up, and their deductibles are much, much larger than what they're used to. So what my plan is proposing is some more substantial delays in Obamacare, continuing to delay the employer mandate, but also moving that over to delaying the individual mandate. I think it only makes sense if one doesn't work that for businesses and employers, it's not going to work for individuals, and we need to provide the same sort of extension for those folks.
But you've also talked about tort reform issues,
yes,
medical retirement accounts, things like that I think are very innovative.
Yeah, and I think they're important. When you look at some of the cost drivers of health care, there are many, but certainly tort reform and trying to reduce frivolous lawsuits would be an important way to reduce costs. I think also important is the health savings accounts, and there are two elements to that. One is allowing people to, put money into health savings accounts tax-free, which we can do now, but to carry that money over. And every year at this time of year, people are trying to spend down their health care accounts so they don't lose the money to the IRS. It doesn't make any sense. It's our money. We should be able to keep it. The tax-free medical retirement accounts is another thing that we ought to do. Allow people to put funds aside before taxes as they move toward retirement to defer future medical expenses. And we all know as we get older, we have higher costs. So that's important. we should be able to deduct the cost of our health insurance. And right now, individuals can't do that, but companies can. So it makes sense to extend that benefit to individual citizens as well.
The same as businesses. Dan, got to run to a break here. Wish we could talk longer, but I think it's important. Give your website so that people can learn more about your background and, in particular, about your health care plan.
Sure. It's innisforcongress.com, INNIS for Congress.com. And we have it all up there. Take a look at the health care plan. We'll have additional policy statements that will be coming out over the next several months so people can really get to know me as they move toward the primary.
Well, I wish you all the best and all the good fortune. Certainly good luck with your and have a great Christmas. And
Merry
thanks
Christmas
for being a
to you
guest.
as well, Senator, and to all your listeners.
Take care. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
We'll be back from a break on News Radio 610 and 96.7 in just a moment.